Excuse me, we'll go ahead and get started now. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Karen McCrae. I'm Senior Director of the Institute program at the U.S. Chamber, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us to talk about Midwest Institute. If you did not hear me mention this in the beginning, I just wanted to say thank you again for bearing with us as we reschedule and sent out a new link as the old one was having issues. So thank you for your patience with us. Before we dive in, is Lisa Hermes on the call? I know she was driving, so I want to see if she's on. Looks like she's about to join. Perfect. As Lisa is joining, I can go ahead and introduce her as our Midwest Board of Regents chair, our 2024 chair. So you will hear from her a lot during the course of the week, and hopefully you'll have a chance to get to meet her and speak with her. We are also joined by members of our Board of Regents, as well as some of our class advisors who you'll hear more about as we go ahead and continue through the session. So Lisa, are you in a place where you're able to go ahead and unmute yourself?
I am. Thank you, Karen, and thank you for everyone's patience. It's last day of school for my daughter today, and so I was on duty to go pick her up. So first of all, just want to say we are so excited to see all of you in Madison in, gosh, what, 2 weeks now, or less than 2 weeks. We are really thrilled with the attendance numbers this year. There's a lot of people coming from different chambers and associations across the country. So it's going to be an excellent time to get together and learn. We've got some great instructors, but also to connect with one another. As Karen said, you'll be hearing from me throughout the week. I am the president and CEO of the McKinney Chamber of Commerce. We are just 30 miles north of Dallas in the big DFW Metroplex. So again, I hope that I get to have some one-on-one time with you and share a little bit about some of the things that our chamber is working on, and help you connect with not only our Board of Regents, but each other during the Week of Institute.
Great. Thank you so much, Lisa. So let's dive in here. This session was designed to provide an overview of Midwest Institute being on site for anyone, but particularly those who are first years and any returning students who are new to the Midwest site. So if throughout the course of this presentation you have questions, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. We'll have time at the end for Q&A, so don't be shy. First thing we will talk about are the class advisors. You should have been hearing from your class advisor. They are an Institute graduate who wants to give back. It is their role to help guide you through the course of the week, in the weeks leading up to the program, and then while you are on site as well. We have a wonderful group of class advisors with us, and I apologize, I'm not looking at the full list here. I don't know if any of them are on the call, but I believe a few of them are. If you have not already had a chance to speak with them, either via email, Facebook group, phone. Kate is here. Thank you, Kate. Please go ahead and reach out to them. Again, it is their job to make sure that you have the best possible experience. They are responsible for delivering information to you and to help guide you throughout the course of the week. If you have recently registered, definitely within the past few days, maybe even the past week and a half, then it's very possible that you have not yet heard from your advisor. If that is the case, please either drop something in the chat or reach out via email to iom@uschamber.com after this meeting, and we'll make sure to get you connected so that you have a point of contact and you know who your go-to person is, because your advisor is just that. Any questions, concerns, anything throughout the course of the week or before we get there, you should absolutely direct those inquiries to your class advisor. Also, we have some tools set up to help you get the information that you need. Linktree Event Hub, we also have an app. So Linktree, you can see the link right there, the URL, linktree.com/IOM educates. As that is really your one-stop shop for all things Institute. You will be able to link to a variety of different areas and aspects of the program from that home-based link tree. So if all else fails and you don't know where to go to the link tree, and that'll help get you to where you need to be eventually. On the link tree is what we call the Event Hub, and that is where you can actually log in using the password that you created when you did your registration. That will give you access to your course handouts, so any PowerPoint presentations or additional supplemental handouts that are associated with your classes, those can be accessed through the Event Hub, as well as an attendee directory, faculty directory, schedule of activities. We have a digital resource center, a plethora of information. Maps as well. Some of that information can also be found on the app. However, it is not as comprehensive. We do recommend that you download the app if you so choose. Again, you'll be able to find some of that information. It's really the tool to use to get you where you need to go as far as once you're on site, you need to know a classroom number, the general schedule of activities, things like that is really best for the app. But again, if you want to go more in depth and get your handouts and PowerPoints and things like that, we would recommend the Event Hub. As far as what to bring, attire for the week is business casual, but you will see a whole variety interpretations of what business casual means. We always want you to be professional and comfortable. Some classes do class t-shirts. You can certainly wear those throughout the week. There's a lot of walking. If you've never been to this site, it's great because everything is within walking distance, but you should definitely bring and wear comfortable shoes. It often gets cold in the classrooms. If you're like me, I'm always cold, so we recommend dressing in layers. The weather in Madison can be finicky. Always recommend bringing an umbrella. Again, it's a lot of walking, so you don't want to be caught outside. For graduation, the attire is a little bit fancier. However, we do recommend and we want people to just be present rather than worrying about not being fancy enough for the ceremony itself. Those who are graduating will likely be in dresses or suits or sports coats or slacks and blouses and things like that. If you are not graduating, you are not required to be in that attire. Again, we just want you to be there and to be comfortable, but to prepare you, know that it is a little bit fancier. As far as materials go, if you have a laptop that you would like to bring, tablet, iPad, smart device, whatever it might be, as a reminder, bring all your charging cords, power banks. You will receive a notebook and a pen on site if you prefer that. You are welcome to go ahead and print the handouts that I mentioned earlier, but you're not required to do so. Please know that those printed handouts will not be provided in class though. So if you want to, then please do that. Any items for the silent auction, if you would like to contribute and make an auction donation, all proceeds from the auction do go towards scholarships. So if that's something you're interested in, please go ahead and bring your auction items. Also, just going back to materials, know that the classrooms have a select limited number of outlets. So again, just if you have portable charging devices, anything like that, we highly recommend because we will not guarantee that there will be outlets for every single person in the classroom. As far as when you get there, arriving at Institute, the first thing is networking and on-site registration, and that will take place starting at 2:30 p.m. on Sunday, June 2nd. That will be in Granger Hall in the atrium. It's about a half a mile from the DoubleTree Hotel for those who are staying at that property. You will be encouraged to register, pick up your materials, meet your classes and network with your fellow class members, as well as with attendees from the other sites, just Midwest, from the other sections, the other years, as well as the Board of Regents. We will also have representatives from MetLife on site. They are sponsors of Midwest Institute this year, so you can speak to a representative about their programs and their offerings. We will also have a live recording of our podcast. This is IOM. Anyone who has listened before might be familiar with it. We have our Institute Board of Regent member and faculty member Kuma Roberts will be interviewed by staff member who you'll hear from in just a minute, Nathan Graham. So you can check that out. That is at 2:45 p.m. and no registration is required for that. So we definitely encourage, again, networking. There will be small bites provided. That is from 2:30 to 4. Then at 4 o'clock is homeroom, and that is where you will break into your individual classes. You'll meet with your class advisor, and they'll explain the ongoings for the entire week, basically run through the schedule, provide guidelines, expectations, everything you need to know to be successful for the week. Then at 5 p.m., we'll have our kickoff. You'll see an introduction video that will contain greetings and welcomes and tips for you for the week from our Board of Regents and class advisors. There'll be a slideshow going. You'll see who is teaching throughout the week. You'll get to see all the volunteers. And then you'll hear more from Lisa, our chair, as well as a keynote speaker, Kelly Marsalis, who is our Board of Trustees past chair, current faculty member this year. After that session, you are invited to attend the kickoff reception that is sponsored by a variety of different groups, but planned by the Midwest Board of Regents. And that will be held at the Fluno Center. You'll receive more information on that when you are on site. At the end of that, you are free to do what you want for the rest of that day. As far as the day-to-day, what to expect, I'm going to turn it over to Nathan to talk a little bit more about that.
All right, everyone can hear me, I hope. So day-to-day, what to expect. Attendance is required in order to receive credit. This is a program, an education program, and you need to attend class in order to get the credit for such things. If you have any more than half a class is missed, you'll be asked to complete makeup work. You may not miss/do makeup work for more than 2 classes. And so if you do somehow miss half a class, please feel free to pop by. We'll already hear something from a class advisor or faculty member, whoever's taking attendance, but also they'll tell you to drop by the staff office and we'll discuss the opportunity or what needs to be done for the makeup work. Class advisors or institute volunteers will provide important broadcasts, conduct attendance, and introduce the faculty member. And then different faculty members may ask you to come prepared with certain materials. Please be sure to visit the event website and review what materials and handouts are included. If you want them printed, either that will have to be done through you. So if you want to bring them printed from your offices or find printing on site, it is a university, you may be able to. There's also the Hotel Business Center. If the place you're staying offers that, feel free to print it off there. With their permission, of course. I don't speak for the hotel sometimes. Bring something for which to take notes. You have a laptop, if you have a tablet, iPad, something like that, or a notebook, you'll be provided a planner which has some notes section in it, so that can be used. If the device is electronic, feel free to please be sure that it's fully charged for class. Again, there might be limited outlets within the rooms. And then temperature in the classrooms is variable, so we say that you dress in layers. I'll probably be wearing some form of jacket throughout the week because I will get cold and then I will get hot and then I will get cold. It happens to all of us, but we'll try and make whatever accommodations need be. Core and elective classes. Core classes are 3 hours long and will take place in every room or in the same room every day. There, you'll be taking 6 core and 3 elective classes. And then class sections attend all core classes together. Elective classes are 3 hours long and are comprised of attendees from all years and class sections. Be sure to check your agenda for the location. There will be 1 elective class on Monday afternoon and then 2 on that Tuesday morning. Breaks and lunches. Institute offers coffee and tea from 7 to 8 a.m., a 30-minute morning break, lunch, and a 30-minute afternoon break. Breaks will consist of catered snacks and drinks in the Granger Hall atrium, while a 1-hour lunch will be held at the Gordon Avenue Market Cafeteria, which offers a variety of selections. Institute volunteers will help direct you to the cafeteria. And then we have some opportunities. We have other things that you can do while on site that aren't involving you sitting in a classroom. So we have the industry consultation program. The program provides opportunities to talk one-on-one with a subject matter expert in a confidential setting, discussing issues raised in a greater depth, or address a professional challenge that you're facing. And so you can put in for an industry consultation. I believe Karen is putting in a link in the chat for you if you'd like to go ahead and request that. You can request them on site up to a certain time. We try and pair them. There is a possibility that the industry consultation will, depending on when you put it in, will need to be done virtually post-site. So we have year-round industry consultations. If you get off-site and you're like, wait, I need something, use that link. You can do a virtual one whenever you get home. And yeah, that can be paired with, you'll be paired up with people. If you're doing it on site, you'll be paired up. And the person will reach out to you. Extracurricular opportunities. We have the class activity. They're a great way to get to know your classmates, and they'll be held on Monday. Check in with your class advisor about plans. I know some of you have probably already made plans, but if you don't know already, please feel free to reach out to your class advisor to make sure you're in the know for that. Institute will also will be having tabletop discussions during lunch on Tuesday about a variety of topics that are important to Institute attendees. We've taken some feedback from the What Do You Want to Learn from Institute and have made some table topics based on some of those questions. So feel free to join in on those. And then be on the lookout for any more site announcements. The silent auction, all proceeds will go to next year's scholarship fund. So for 2025 Midwest, planning for the future there. Donations can be brought on site on Sunday. Text MW24 to 843-606-5995 or visit the link in the chat that Karen is going to put up to join the auction. The auction will close at 8 a.m. on June 6th. And as for graduation, that's all for Karen.
Great. Thank you, Nathan. And I did mention graduation earlier. I should backtrack so you all know what you're dressing for. So graduation, of course, as it sounds, is where we get to recognize the fourth years going through the program and working towards completing the 96 total credit hours. So it's a very special time. Those of you, if there are any fourth years on the call with us today, I hope you're looking forward to it. If you are not a fourth year, then you will see as you go through the program just how exciting it can be. It is, again, recognition of having completed all 4 years. At the end of it, you are able to use your IOM letters for recognition, signifying completion of all 96 credit hours. So everyone is expected to attend and to help celebrate the grads. It will take place at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, June 5th at the Pyle Center. So this is another building that is within walking distance. I'm sure throughout the course of your week, you will hopefully make your way down to the Memorial Union. You'll see a great view of the lake, of the water. This building is just overlooking the lake. So hopefully you'll be familiar with it before Wednesday rolls around. Graduates, you'll receive more information on this as we are on site, but you are expected to get there to arrive a little bit earlier, so we will take pictures. Prior to that, backing up, this is actually not on the PowerPoint, but we will have a small bites. I hesitate to use the word reception, but small bites will be available, a gathering, if you will, in the lobby of the DoubleTree Hotel, and that will take place on Wednesday at 5 p.m. So everyone's invited to network and say hello to your fellow classmates and members before the graduation actually takes place. You can walk over together. I know there's often regents who arrange for shuttles from the DoubleTree. They have a complimentary shuttle. For those who don't want to walk, I'm sure there will be shuttles going back and forth to the Pyle Center as well. We will also be taking group photos at the end of the session. So for anyone who is not a fourth year, not a graduate, we will be taking class photos at the end of the ceremony. Everyone is encouraged to participate after, however you see fit. And if that means going out to dinner with your class members or taking advantage of the city of Madison, whatever you would like to do, at 7:30 is when we're anticipating all of the events to be wrapped up for graduation. And then on the final day, crazy. We're already talking about the final day. The week flies by, but classes are from 8 until 11:30 that day. Checkout is at 11 for those who are staying at the DoubleTree. So you're welcome to either store your luggage or bring it over to Granger Hall and bring it to your classroom, whatever you are more comfortable with. The silent auction that we have talked about will end at 8 a.m. on Thursday on the final day. Everyone will be notified if you have won via text message, and you are expected to pick up your items. Excuse me. If you have won, you're expected to pick up your items during that morning break before Institute actually ends at 11:30. Speaking of the morning break, we will have a little bit heavier food items to send you off on your way, hopefully with a full stomach. So it'll be a little bit different from our previous morning breaks. And then class ends at 11:30. So with that, I know that was a lot of information thrown at you. If you had not already seen the answer to this question in the chat, yes, this information is, or this session, excuse me, is being recorded. The link to the recording will be sent out, so you can go ahead and reference it after if you still have questions. I was trying to sift through the chat here, and I see, thank you to the regents who were chiming in to answer some of the questions, particularly on the auction. And I think we've been trying to answer the questions as they have come up, but is there anything that has not been answered? If you have thought of anything else, if there are any regents or class advisors on the line right now who want to chime in just with some tips, just to say hello, please feel free to take yourself off of mute. Or again, if you are an attendee with questions, please feel free to either put it in the chat right now or go ahead and take yourself off of mute.
Or raise your hand so that we get an order list.
I guess that works better. Fine, Nathan. Use the raise hand function. Thank you. Don't be shy.
Lauren Moore has a question.
Yeah.
Or accidentally raised their hand. Either way.
Oh.
Hey, hi, sorry. Hey, this is
No worries.
my year 2, and I'm super excited, but I did unfortunately dally on that hotel. So I'm not close. But I was seeing that Madison has like rental bicycles, and I didn't know if anybody was familiar enough with downtown. Like I'm gonna be biking. It's like 2 miles. Is that safe, friendly? Is there a place to lock my bike?
I know that Madison is a very bike-friendly city. So just throwing that out there, there are a ton of bikers. I see Logan also just asked where you are staying.
Oh, Moxie.
Maybe, I don't know, Logan, if you have a car, if that was why you were asking. Yes, it is. Thank you, Brendan. Madison is very bike friendly, excuse me. Okay, Logan is saying, one of our class advisors, our 4th year class advisor, is saying we'll have to connect. So okay. I can put you two in touch afterwards. Thank you. Great question. And I don't know if you are wanting to stay that far away, but I believe the Hampton Inn, which is also within walking distance, and we do have a variety of our attendees and faculty members staying there as well. That is, I think, still has room availability. So again, not sure if you're choosing to stay at that property or if you were looking to get closer, but I believe
I didn't see it when I looked, and then I went ahead and booked because I was afraid there would be.
You didn't? Okay. I can look again. I'm going to connect with you and Logan offline. Thank you. And then I see another question coming from the West Coast, may miss registration. How can I get my materials? Okay, so for anyone who does miss registration on Sunday, great question, because we know inevitably there will be travel issues and people coming in late, and that will happen. That's okay. We will have a secondary registration on Monday morning, actually in Granger Hall in the staff office, which is room 1080, just off of the atrium. Everything in Granger Hall is very close together. So we'll have all of the registration materials available for pickup in the staff office starting at 7 a.m. So anytime before class at 8, just head on to the staff office and we'll make sure to get you your materials. Can you still change it? Yes. Yes, please. If you are interested in changing a class, please go ahead and email iom@uschamber.com and we'll get that taken care of for you. Since registration is closed, you no longer have the ability to do that yourself, but we can do it from the back end. But please go ahead and do that today if possible. Can we still order swag? I don't believe so. Lisa Weitzel, I know you're on the line. That was a hard deadline, correct?
It's correct.
Okay.
The deadline was last night at midnight. I do know that we will have the mugs on site because we had to order a certain number of those. But the other pieces, there's potential. If you would, Maxine, if you would email me what size you would want, I will see, because somebody else is also asking that question too. I'll put my email in the chat.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And DJ, did you have a question?
Hi, yes, I'm sorry. I was typing my question in the
Oh,
chat.
no worries.
I was looking at the schedule and there isn't a lot of downtime. I mean, there's break and lunch hour, but is there a space or room where people could check emails, or just hallway?
It is unfortunately hallway. We don't have like a business lounge or anything like that. As you said, it is short breaks, but there are a variety of places throughout the first floor of Granger where you can find a quiet spot and tuck yourself away. It's just not a designated room, but I think you won't have any trouble finding a space. Yeah. And then Andrew, I see you'd like to print off the outlines, presenters. Yes, so you can find all handouts available in the event hub. And I apologize, I meant to actually include this link earlier. And I don't have a quick access. I'm going to, at some point, put the event hub link in the chat here, but all handouts and materials that we have received from faculty thus far can be found in the event hub. If you are looking at a class and you don't see any PowerPoints or handouts, that's because we have not yet received them from faculty. So we are constantly adding them as we get them. So you might have to check back as we get closer. And then I see another question, a QR code for the mobile app. Yes, we do have that. I will also thank you, Nathan. Laketree will get you to the event hub. Thank you. Yes, the app, you will receive information on that in a pre-site email that will go out likely tomorrow, that will have kind of a recap. It will have a link to this video recording as well as some other information. And there will be information on how to download the app in that session as well, excuse me, in that email as well. And then I think I can also copy and paste that QR code into the chat as I am talking.
That was a reminder for Kelly to send in her PowerPoint and all of her stuff for her class.
Yeah, I got that very subtle reminder. Thank you.
No, that was
I could feel it. I could feel it too, Kelly.
I don't even think I knew you were on the call, Kelly. So all good. All right, there's the QR code for the app as well. Thank you, Kelly. Great. Any other questions? These are all great questions. Thank you. Keep them coming.
I do have one question. Do you guys have any, so like I'm doing this to sit for my CAE. So how helpful is the Institute when sitting for the CAE?
Very, I can say very. Our curriculum is directly tied to the bodies of knowledge for the CAE as well as the CCE. For those on the call who might not be familiar with those credentials, the CAE stands for the Certified Association Executive, and the CCE stands for the Certified Chamber Executive. So we have representatives from both of the parent organizations who administer those industry credentials, those exams. The CAE is ASAE. The CCE is ACCE, so many letters. You don't need to worry about all the letters. But basically, we have representatives from those two organizations who administer the exams sitting on our National Board of Trustees and as well as our curriculum committee. So we make sure that our curriculum mirrors what they are teaching for those two industry certifications. And when they make changes, we make changes. So it is very helpful, specifically for the CAE. I had put this in the chat. At the end of the 4 years, you'll have received 96 credit hours. To sit for the CAE, you need 100. So you just need to get 4 out on your own. So it is tied to it, and it is very helpful. And I see DJ, thank you, put in the chat, CAE, and happy to chat if you are sitting. So certainly you all can connect. As am I, Lisa, yep, Board of Regents member, I am as well. We'll have a variety of faculty members as well as volunteers and fellow attendees on site who have their CAE as well as their CCE. So happy to provide more information. Great question. Anything else?
Do any of the 4th years or people who have gone before have any advice for us first years and what we should be doing and things we should look forward to?
Great question. Who wants to chime in on that? Lisa, I see you took yourself off mute.
I'm happy to chime in. I am clearly not the 4th year. It's been a minute since I've been to IOM as an attendee, but I think really just leaning into the week. So unplugging, and I know that's really hard because we're not used to unplugging from the everyday activities and things that are happening in our communities and in our industries that we're serving, but really putting down the phone sometimes. And we've got some incredible instructors who will be sharing a lot of expertise and knowledge. And then in addition to that, as I mentioned earlier, we have 160 plus attendees from all kinds of organizations, both association and chamber. And it's really a great opportunity to get to connect with them and learn from them. I saw somebody put in the chat something about, just really unplugging and from where our day-to-day lives are, and really, like I said, taking full advantage of the Institute experience. And I think that is one of my biggest, probably my biggest.
Well, why aren't you up?
Pieces of advice. I know there's some other board members too on this call, and I don't know if you have any thoughts. And I also see Tony Vetta, who's going to be one of the instructors, and I got to serve with him on a different Institute site board before. So he may have some advice for us as well. No? Okay. Absolutely, Kyle.
Okay. I would absolutely agree with what Lisa said, really being able to unplug completely. And even though you'll have devices with you for taking notes, there's a huge temptation to check your email and all that. And you should really try and fight that as much as possible. When you're in class, try to be as present as possible for your benefit as well as for the instructor.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I would say is that I'm just really proud of all of the volunteers who will be there on site to also help, because Institute is all about the instruction, right? That's why we come, that's why we're here, and that's how you get your credentials. But what we do on site as volunteers is look for ways to help engage you when you're not in class. So whether it's the tabletop discussions or it's the industry consults, take advantage of all of those things, because that too just really enhances your time and your experience with IOM. And in, I think somebody, I'm trying to keep up with the chat. I've formed a lot of strong bonds and relationships with people because of this experience, whether it was my class members or serving in different capacities. And I think, and I would classify myself as a extroverted introvert. So I do totally understand for people who are on the call thinking, oh my gosh, when do I have a chance to recharge? Because as an introvert, you need that quiet time. But it's definitely worth putting yourself out there and getting to know other people throughout this process. You can always sleep on the plane home.
You will sleep on the plane home.
Great.
Now, if you're driving home, that's a whole nother situation. So I do not recommend that, sleeping on the way home.
I would just add one thing. I talk to a lot of attendees that go into a class and say, I don't really have anything to do with finance, or I don't really have anything to do with public policy. I'm going to check my email, or I'm going to do something. And I guess my biggest thing is that all of the topics are so interconnected that you really get a lot out of those classes, even if it's not in your lane right now. And someday it will be. And so I just really highly recommend to go into every class with an open mind and be willing to kind of pick up you get something out of every class. And so don't be afraid of the finance class or something that maybe you don't do all the time, because you will be surprised at how much you get out of those discussions.
I was going to add that there are first-year students on this call, right? Yes. So if nobody said it already, it is a little like drinking from a fire hose. There's a lot of information, and the temptation is to say, oh my God, there are all these great ideas, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to do all of them. And you'll either make yourself, your board, or your staff crazy if you do that. So think about all the great ideas, pick a couple and work on those, pick a couple more, work on those. Don't feel like you have to do everything all at once.
Kate, I see your hand up.
Kate, you still with us?
The battery in my mouse was dying, so I couldn't
Oh.
get it to unmute.
No worries.
As I really thought it was beneficial to print whatever materials were available, a few days beforehand, and I bound them, and I looked like a total nerd, but I didn't care. And then I was able to just take notes right on the presentation, and then put little paper flags on the things that I really wanted to get back to. And I have them at the ready, so that as they come up, whether it's in 6 days, 6 months, or 2 years, I can grab that material, see my notes, and I found it to be extremely beneficial. And even though it was nerdy, I had a lot of people ask me where I got it. So I just sent it to like a UPS store, had them bind it, and it was great.
I bought a binder, but now I'm thinking of a UPS store around the corner from my house, so maybe I'll go do that.
Love it. And if you're not already seeing the chat, or if you're not in a place where you can access the chat right now, definitely recommend going back after, because there are some great recommendations that people are putting in here. So thank you.
I do
Kelly,
have one more
Kate.
question. I'm sorry to hog the time.
No.
So I am neurodivergent. So like sitting for 3 hours is really, really hard for me. So is it possible for me to be able just to like sit in the back of the room, and then when I need to just kind of stay in the room, but kind of get up and walk around, stretch, just so that I'm not?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
No, absolutely. We want you to be comfortable and in the learning environment that is best for you. So we are all understanding that everyone is an adult. So yes, you do respectfully, so as to try to not distract the faculty member, walking in front of the faculty member. Not that I would expect you to do that. But no, as long as it's, excuse me, respectful to faculty and everyone in the class, of course, absolutely. Not a problem.
A lot of folks stand up at the back, especially after lunch, for the post-lunch hangover, so they don't fall asleep in class. So I don't think you'll be alone there.
Yeah, and depending upon the class and the faculty member, some of them will actually ask you to stand up and take a stretch break, or you'll be doing group work. She'll be moving about the classroom. Institute is very and interactive and engaging, so it's rare that you'll just be sitting and listening for, well, it definitely won't be 3 hours, because there is a 30-minute break in between each of the 3-hour core classes, but the electives are 2 hours with no scheduled break. So hopefully you'll be moving around.
I never
Thank
stop moving in a classroom, so there's that too.
Any other questions? I see somebody did ask about 2025 dates. We do have some of them. We don't yet have Northeast states, but we have the other the other 3 sites. So you'll receive those when you're on site. Information for 2025. Yes, we will have Wi-Fi available. Absolutely. Again, you'll receive information on that in homeroom, the connection to use. I think you have to set up an account, but it's a guest account. You just have to enter in your email, and then you should be good to go for the week. Hopefully it doesn't stop working. Any other questions?
Everybody to unplug if the internet stops working.
True. Very true. Mm-hmm.
I think the last thing too, I would just impart is utilize your class advisors. That's why they're there, is to help you if you've got any questions or concerns or whatever comes up, or just advice. That's why they are volunteering, and they're a tremendous resource. So feel free to reach out to them. I know they've been doing, I think, a very good job of getting you some information in advance, but they'll be there on site to help you too.
Mm-hmm. Great. Wonderful. Again, these are great questions. If you think of something after the fact, as Lisa said, your class advisor is there to help you. So please don't hesitate to reach out to them. You can also reach out to staff, iom@uschamber.com, and we'll be sure to either give you the answer or get you to the person who has the answer for you. With that, any closing thoughts or questions?
I mean, if you have any concerns or questions, I think you should reach out to Nathan. All complaints go to him specifically.
This is true.
Absolutely.
She's not wrong.
Yes.
This is an actual thing that happens. It's not like that's a joke.
I fully support that.
I will forward them to Kelly.
Also, Kyle Jacobson likes to take complaints.
Mm-hmm. If you haven't already picked up on this, if you are a first year or new to this site, it's a very tight-knit group. So you will form these bonds and the relationships, and you can tell we like to have fun. It's going to be a wonderful week of learning and networking and engaging. Again, we want this to be the best experience for you. So please do not be shy in letting us know how we can help make that happen. With that, if there's nothing else, we'll let you get back to your day and look forward to seeing you in. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Will there be a shuttle from like the airport to the hotel, or should we just plan to Uber over?
Yeah, I would plan to Uber. There is a DoubleTree shuttle, but you stumped me. I don't know if it goes to the airport or not. Lisa, do you happen to know that information? I'm calling on you because I know you stay at the DoubleTree. I always just Uber from the hotel.
I do too.
Yeah.
They do have a shuttle, but there's so many people who use it that I'm not sure how that works. in
Oh,
terms of.
thank you. I see Sarah. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry for not knowing this. I see Sarah put
Oh.
in the chat. There is a shuttle that comes regularly. You just need to call them when you land. Thank you, Sarah. Mhm.
I just want to say one thing, and then I also saw Susie's hand up too. The other thing, I was looking in the chat, and we've got some people who are fast tracking, which we love. I know somebody said they're going to be their first time at Midwest and they're year 3, and then they'll be graduating in winter, which is also a fantastic site. So we are looking at ways to help really connect and bring in the fast tracker. So because like Karen said, you do become tight knit, right, with the people that you get to know throughout the years, but we're also a very inclusive organization, and we love having new people and new faces within the site. And so we've got some ideas too to help with really integrating our fast trackers and making sure that your week is just as special while you're with us at Midwest.
Yes. Thank you, Lisa. I did not intend to give off the impression
No.
that yes, that it would not be inclusive. I appreciate you clarifying that. Thank you.
And then I think Susie, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I was just going to comment about the shuttle to and from the airport. They do have it, and I have taken it, but they are limited on the shuttle space, so you will be waiting a while. If you're okay with that, then please do that. If not, an Uber works great as well.
Thank you. It's short. I want to say 10 minutes if you hit light. It's not very far.
You will find that Madison is a very walkable city too. So I think somebody said it's also bike friendly, which is also good to know. But I know we've walked all over Madison, restaurants to the lake, everywhere. So
thank you.
And last but not least, you have to try the bacon at Wando's. It's just tradition. It's just Midwest.
I thought they took that away.
Kelly's face.
They did?
I thought they took the bacon away. Someone else correct me.
I
don't
thought they did too.
I
could be wrong.
think it's no longer a thing. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Okay, that just made me sad. Wait, Kate said they do have bacon,
have it,
and she's in the know.
It is a thing. Oh, I don't know. There's conflicting information in the chat. Charlie said it wasn't there last year.
I think
I
it
have
got
to
shut
go
down
and
for
find
health
out.
department reasons.
I will text Wando and tell him that there is a lot of interest in bacon, and so if he doesn't have it, he ought to get it.
Everyone's wondering what's going on right now. All right. Anything else? All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Lisa, and all of our board and faculty and advisors who participated, and of course to our attendees. We look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you. Safe travels, everyone.
Bye.
Finally done.